Good evening. This is Ayya Sobhana. For the second week in a row, I am coming to you from the Carolina Buddhist Vihara in Greenville, South Carolina, where I am on a 1-month visit taking care of this temple. I want to continue with the theme of dukkha that I started a couple of weeks ago on this forum. The first noble truth of dukkha. It's kind of the wake-up call, isn't it? When we experience dukkha and we know it, that's the great opportunity to do what should be done in order to make progress with this beautiful path of training leading to liberation that's set forth to us by the Blessed One. We can start by sitting together in meditation. I'm going to offer somewhat standard guided meditation, but in particular, I want to point out the factor of intention. That's one of the mental factors, okay? It's what do we want? So just at the moment, sitting here for meditation, we wish to let go of the past and future, come awake for what's arising in the present moment, to follow a certain meditation procedure that we've chosen. It's not just something that's happening by accident. This is what we have chosen. And then during the meditation, one may deliberately direct awareness towards some aspect of the experience, like the sensations in the body or the breath, or the rise and fall of breath, or it could be another a theme of meditation that we've chosen. And when the mind lands on that object and remains on that object, it's because of a choice. We've chosen this meditation. The mind is willing to stay on this meditation. I'm giving that as like the positive example of something that would be wished for. To have a good meditation and to be able to stay with the theme or the object of meditation. But then it can happen during the meditation that the mind drifts away from that object or that meditation procedure that we've chosen and starts thinking about something else, even thinking about something that's not present in the here and now of where you're sitting in meditation. And it's it may be useful to just acknowledge the mind moves because of desire. That somewhere there was a desire to drop this and go to that. And then when we remember what's happening and we let go of that and come back to this, that's a choice. So all of these things are choices. It's one of the mental factors, what we choose. And for the theme that I want to talk about later on, it would be, I'm just inviting you to, within the meditation, to try to see if you could notice what it's like to choose, what it's like to want something and then to do what you want to do. So if you're pleased to practice meditation for about 40 minutes, welcome to come to an upright and balanced posture. Welcome to be aware of the body in the room where you're sitting. This is your meditation hall for the moment, wherever you are, feeling the space around you, feeling your position in the room, and feeling the weight of the physical body pressing onto the chair or the cushion, the touching sensation of the hands, the upright quality of the back of the torso. And taking a few moments being aware of the posture, noticing the entire body from head to toe in the meditation posture. Aware of the sensations that are present. From head to toe, feeling the sensations in the skin or in the muscles, that touching sensation, and anything that you notice in the body that's tight or tense, think of relaxing and what it's like to relax the body without letting go of the posture. Aiming awareness towards the touching sensation of the body. The rise and fall of breath may be noticeable. Taking an interest in the breath. Seeing just how it is at each moment from the beginning to the end of each in-breath and each out-breath. And if the mind wanders, look back. What happened? If you can see some trigger, some thought or some touch or something, and then the mind started to go off. Just a second to look. And then, if possible, come back to the breath. Or if the mind is strongly swept away with some set of thinking, then come back to the initial awareness of the bodily posture, scanning the body, making the determination to stay in the present moment, and then settling down, and then coming back to breath. No problem to come back many times during a sit of meditation. Seeing the activity of the mind and calming the activity of the mind with each breath, becoming as simple as possible. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammang sanghang namasami. Dear friends, I want to continue speaking to you about dukkha. In the greater discourse on the establishment of mindfulness, and also in the discourse on the truths, that is the discourse on the truths is called Satya Vibhanga. It occurs in the middle length discourses, and the longer version of the Foundations of Mindfulness occurs in the Digha Nikaya in the long discourses. What is dukkha? Jati pidukkha, jara pidukkha, maranam pidukkam, soka parideva dukkha domana supaya sa pidukkha, apiye hi sampayoko dukkho, piye hi vipayoko dukkho, yam pikchang nalabati tam pidukkam, sankitena panchupadana kanda dukkha. Birth is dukkha. Old age is dukkha. Death is dukkha. Lamentation, pain, grief, and despair are dukkha. Union with what is disliked is dukkha. Separation from what is liked or what is dear is dukkha. Not to get what one wants is dukkha. In brief, the five aggregates subject to clinging are dukkha. One of the things that I like very much about the more traditional Thai chanting program, which is at least practiced in the forest tradition, and in the Thai tradition, is that the description about dukkha is recited every single morning, and it can be quite useful when we're in pain, just to have that definition very well memorized and just kind of embedded into the mind, and then to be able to ask, well, what part of the territory have I landed in now that's causing the dukkha to be experienced by me? So then, if I come to the conclusion, I don't like these people that I'm around, or else I've been separated from a dear and beloved person, and I feel sad after that. Then, in a certain way, it takes one from a step away from being fully caught up in the experience to being a bit more objective about it. So that's one advantage of this. Last week, I gave a whole talk to this forum about this phrase, Panchupadana Kanda Dukkha, the five aggregates subject to clinging or dukkha. And the phrase that came before that is not to get what one wants is dukkha. Yampi chang nalabati tampi dukkam. And this is what I want to develop for you today. The key word is Icca. There's, let me see. There's a way to make it show on the screen. Well, I thought I knew. Itta. It's a wishing. And the explanation for it actually encompasses the whole story of dukkha. It says, what is it not getting what you want? Well, a being who is subject to birth wishes, oh, that I would not be subject to birth. Oh, that birth would not come to me. But they can't get that by wishing. And not obtaining that wish is dukkha. Then they wish, oh, that aging should not come to me. But also, you can't get that by wishing. Oh, that sickness would not come to me. But you can't get that by wishing. Oh, that death would not come to me. You cannot get that by wishing. Oh, that sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, or despair would not come to me. But none of those things can be gained by wishing. And so the wish, in this case, it's kind of a state of freedom, being not so much getting a material thing or getting a gain, but getting freedom from something that's not wanted. There's a certain kind of a way that I always had this idea that that this wishing has got something to do with wishing for heaven. If I could get that state where there's no birth, no aging, no illness, no death, no sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair, well, that would be the heavenly state, wouldn't it? And so it's kind of like a wish for this other existence, this existence in a realm which is free from the sorrow that I know. So the state that I'm in, it's very related to what you could say bhavatanha is a craving or the thirst for a certain existence or for the continuation of the existence that you have. And then the vibhavatanha is the wish for something other than the state of existence that you have, the wish to become free from the defects of the existence that you have. There's a contemporary humorous example of this, a cartoon I saw at some point describing the little preschooler who wants to be a kindergarten student, or the elementary student wants to be in junior high school. And so on each stage of existence, one is desiring some other station, some other state. And it culminates in the wealthy and successful person who has built up their riches, and they have a family, they have heirs, they have property, they have success in their vocation, they have their education, they got all these things, and now they wish to get into a good nursing home so that they can have a comfortable death. And it's showing in a certain way the futility of that. Or you could say, in another way of thinking about it, we are caught up in samsara, in this cycle of birth and death that is one thing after another. This pattern of craving, grasping, and getting, which inevitably provides the momentum that keeps us going around and around in this this world of existence, this world of craving, and also it's this world of being dissatisfied and burdened with the state that we're in, because whatever state we're in, we can see the defects of it, whatever's painful, what's not comfortable. So there's a kind of a dissatisfaction or an instability with the state that we've got right now, and some kind of an idea that there could be another state that would not be so unstable. They wouldn't have that defect of impermanence. This is how beings come to imagine an eternity of heaven. There's another way in which part of our Noble Eightfold Path is making right effort. And making right effort comes from having a right thought, or sometimes translated as right intention. The right intention is expressed not in terms of gaining or getting, but in terms of being without the undesirable qualities. It's expressed in terms of what we let go of, what we lose. So the nekkhamma is free from greed, the state free from greed. This is in right thought. The abhyapajja, the state which is free from ill will. The avihingsa, the non-harming state, is free from cruelty. So starting from that fundamental pattern that we have in our noble training, is that our process is our right process when we're on the right path is not a process of gaining and acquisition, but a process of letting go. And then by that letting go, it's a process of, it creates the space for a process of nature, which then leads to this liberation. But when our wish for liberation, or wish to be in that state where there's not any birth, old age, sickness, and death, and when that state is thought of as a gain, then we're automatically on the wrong track. We'll never get there. Here's another sutta that talks about the chicken who has a lot of wishing. She's full of wishing. She has 8 or 10 or 12 eggs, but she didn't properly sit on the eggs and keep them warm and incubated. Even if that chicken may wish, if only my chicks could break out of the eggshell with their claws and break and hatch safely, they will not do so. They will not break and hatch safely. Why? Because the chicken did not properly sit on them, keep them warm and incubated. But a bhikkhu who's dedicated to development, that is practicing the path, practicing right view, right intention, right morality, right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi, right meditation. That mind is may have this wish, 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 if may my mind become freed from the defilements by not grasping, and our mind will be freed from defilements by not grasping. Why? Because they practice. And then the sutta mentions a concise summary of the 37 aspects of practice, the 4 kinds of mindfulness, the right efforts, the 4 kinds of basis of psychic power, the 5 faculties, the 5 powers, 7 awakening factors, and the Noble Eightfold Path. So it's by developing and practicing that's creating the condition for that freedom to arise, which is a freedom and not a gain. And then the metaphor is given to this other chicken who's a good mother chicken, and she sits on the eggs and keeps them warm and incubated. Even if that chicken does not wish, if only my chicks would break out of that eggshell with their claws and beak and hatch safely, still they can break out and hatch safely because she's properly sat on them and taken care of them. And so in that way, the wishing is not what gets you there. Am I on a share screen? I'm sorry, I did not intend to be on a share screen on this part of the talk. Let me see. Okay. Here I am. In another way, in the sutta that I just gave you, the wishing is extraneous to awakening. The thing that creates the conditions for awakening is practice. The wishing is not something that has anything to do with it. But elsewhere, the Buddha says that actually that this wishing itself is a very big danger. Here's another sutta. I have too many screens open, excuse me. It's the Icca Sutta. Which is 1.69 in the Samyutta Nikaya. Thank you. Icca Sutta. What is it that binds the world? By removing what is it freed? With the giving up of what are all bonds severed? Ichchaya bhajati loko. This ichcha, this wishing, is what binds the world. Ichcha vinaya. By removing desire, it's freed. Ichcha vipahana. With giving up this wishing, all bonds are severed. So it's, I think, in this way that people who live in the conventional world with practical responsibilities involved in earning your livelihood and taking care of responsibilities towards your loved ones and so forth. This could be problematic. When you have to do a project, you kind of think about the goals of the project, and then you do some kind of like a big sky visualization of an ideal realization, sort of a maximum realization of that project, and then go through some kind of a process wherein you have to confront reality and see whether to some extent you can satisfy some or all of the factors and realize something that sort of approximates the goal that you set, the project that you set out to do. Even when I was in graduate school, before I encountered the Dhamma, I learned that in a healthy organization, the goals determine the roles. And in a sick organization, the roles determine the goals. In other words, in a sick organization, people are taking care of their own, each member of the group is taking care of their own welfare, and they have lost the big picture of what they have in common that they're all striving for together. But in a way, this leads to a way of thinking about human beings, which is sort of the opposite of, say, a humanistic view, where the one's own people in a, this is a workplace, people in the workplace are viewed in terms of what they can contribute to the project, even if it's detrimental to them, even if it's detrimental to their humanity. And then one treats one's own self as being like, what am I going to contribute to whatever endeavor it is that I've joined up with, even if it's detrimental to my ideal of welfare as a human being. And there's a very different kind of way of relating to human beings, where actually, well, you could say there is a goal. They say the goal is liberation, but that is an aspiration that resides within the heart of each individual, and each person actually needs to go on their own journey of discovery, uncovering where the obstacles are for that person, and it's kind of unique and different for each individual. And then, even though as an organization we need to build a temple and organize a ceremony and have a dana and put out a website or do all these other things, none of those things has really got very much significance at all compared to, say, as a community or as a society, trying to support the opportunity for each individual within the community to be able to realize to the maximum extent the liberation that they're aiming for, or the aspiration that they're aiming for, the best, to whatever extent they're even able to conceive of or conceptualize what would be their highest aspiration. That's what we're trying to facilitate for others, and also what we are trying to facilitate for ourselves. So we have got to prioritize that. And then building the temple, organizing a ceremony, or creating a website, or whatever other the projects that we do together, all need to be aligned with the aspiration, the right intention, which is held by the individuals. So in this way, Sangha is the opposite to what I learned in graduate school. A Sangha is an organization where the roles of the individual truly does have a primary space in determining how an organization runs. And so if you ever go to a Buddhist temple and you think, wow, these monks are really inefficient, so you need to be compassionate, because you may see that efficiency is not really their priority. There's another Pali word. Panka. Which has got a kind of a similar meaning. It's a desire or a wish or an intention. We see it in the Mangala Sutta when the Deva approaches the Buddha. Akankamana sotanam bruhi mangalam uttamam. All beings have the desire for happiness. Tell me the blessing supreme. And so we sometimes see this in a very similar format in the teachings, but it seems to have a little bit more of a constructive meaning. That like this ichati is sort of like a vain, useless wishing for something that's impossible. And then the akanka is a more well-directed, suitable wish to take care of the next thing that needs to be taken care of on our path. Here's a sutta in the middle-length discourses called "If a Bhikkhu Should Wish." It's number 6 in the middle-length discourses, and this bhikkhu wishes, "May I be dear and agreeable to my companions in the holy life, respected and esteemed by them." And then they have a whole series of wishes. They wish, "Oh, if I could get robes, alms food, resting place, and medicinal requisites. Oh, may those who give robes, alms food, the resting place, and medicinal requisites, may they obtain the great fruit and benefit from their dana. Oh, when my kinsmen and relatives who have passed away and died think of me with confidence in their mind, may they get great merits. Oh, may I conquer discontent and delight. May discontent not conquer me. May I abide transcending discontent wherever it arises." This is a series of things like this could be a task. The first 2 tasks are like in the realm of dana and merits and requisites. And then the next few are in the realm of inner development, psychological maturity, gaining agency to direct the mind in a wholesome direction. These are in the realm of, you could say, right effort, conquering discontent and delight. Oh, may I conquer fear and dread. May I abide transcending fear and dread whenever they arise. And And then may I obtain at will the jhanas that constitute the higher meditation and give a pleasant abiding here and now. And then these are other sublime attainments. These are the liberations, the immaterial liberation, which transcends all form. That's a state of meditation. May I become a stream enterer with the destruction of the three fetters. With the destruction of the three fetters, may lust, hate, and delusion disappear, and may I become a once returner. With the complete destruction of 5 lower fetters, may I become a non-returner, due to reappear spontaneously in the pure abodes, and there obtain nibbana. May I have all kinds of supernormal powers, like the divine eye, the divine ear, being able to go through mountains and walk on water and so forth. And may I understand the minds of other beings and so forth. And for each one of these wishes, the Buddha gives just one answer. If that's what you want, fulfill the precepts, be devoted to internal serenity of the mind. Do not neglect meditation. Develop insight and dwell in empty huts, seeking seclusion. And then this whole progressive ladder of wholesome qualities that this bhikkhu in training may be aiming for, and during the course of their training, then culminates in the final realization. May I, realizing for myself with direct knowledge here and now, enter and abide in the deliverance of mind, deliverance by wisdom, that are taintless with the destruction of taints. And then the same answer. So just the way the chicken who sat on the eggs and kept them incubated and took care of them, it doesn't necessarily make a difference like what she was wishing for, because the fruit of the practice is the hatching out of those eggs. And then likewise, the fruit of this practice is liberation. Fulfilling the precepts, being devoted to internal serenity of mind, not neglecting meditation, being possessed of insight, and dwelling in empty huts, dwelling in seclusion. So, I believe in this sutta, the Buddha is not indicating something that's dangerous or negative about wanting to, for example, receive the requisites and have the donation of the requisites be something that's meritorious for people, or wishing to conquer discontent, or wishing to conquer fear. That when one looks internally and you see like, what kind of mind do I have? What have I accomplished? What have I realized? If one may realize, oh, I used to be quite fearful. I used to be very constantly beset by fear and anxiety. But now if this were true for you, if you realize, I have gone beyond fear. My mind is no longer disturbed by fear. Anxiety is not really a factor for me anymore. Then you would perhaps recognize that the practice, the bhavana that you've been doing, has been going along in the right direction, because this is one of the byproducts, or one of the fruits, one of the results that comes along the way, along this path of development, which would have its ultimate culmination in the realization of the noble states and the final liberation of nibbana. So, in this way, it seems to me that we don't need to feel too confused that if I give up desire, I'm going to be like a vegetable and I won't be able to do anything. I'll just be depressed and I'll just, do nothing, be a do nothing, a completely passive individual, not wishing for anything. But rather that while we're a trainee going along on a path, that wishing, or that akanka, that desire, there's a wholesome desire that can be something that's arising along the way, but it's not the desire that produces the result. What produces the result is the practice. And then in the end, we are inclining to let go of that wishing. That at the very end, that wishing is going to drop away. It's going to be abandoned, along with all of the impediments, all of the fetters, everything that is binding us, keeping us going around this merry-go-round, going from one thing to another. So I think I'd like to stop here, and I will invite any comments, especially what you have learned in your own life about the right balance between having wholesome motivations and distinguishing that from the type of craving, the type of futile wishing, which in the end is a fetter, and which we should be inclined to letting it go whenever we can, when we learn how to let that go. I think the way of commenting is by typing a comment into the chat. I'm happy to see a few of the friends from the Dhammadharini are present during this talk. I especially invite friends from Dhammadharini or Aranyabodhi to type your comment or anything that you can add to this talk. And if no questions, I give my sincere wish for you that you would overcome all difficulties, that you would overcome all challenges, that you will not lose track of your highest aspiration, and will be able to use that as a kind of a North Star to keep yourself headed in the right direction. without craving. And if you will, please understand the program, what the Buddha has offered you, what he's offered in terms of the Eightfold Noble Path, especially the practice of meditation, sila, and so forth, and practice that diligently, and knowing that the best understanding you have of the direction you're aiming for, that could be realized, and that what is perhaps not yet clear to you about the greatest good, that will become clear in the future if we simply patiently do our job, sit on the eggs, keep them warm, keep them incubated, sit with our meditation practice, keep that practice going. Araham Samma Sambuddha Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Subhatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Thank you for your patient listening.